The boardroom crackled with energy. Singapore's skyline glowed beyond glass walls. I stood in the wings, pulse racing, my note cards damp in my hands. In 5 minutes, I'd unveil the Solvex reactor, my life's work, a fusion device to power the world carbon-free. Investors from Shanghai, Berlin, and New York leaned forward. Their murmurs buzzed like static. I was ready. My name is Lena Voss, lead engineer at Helios Energy. A decade of sleepless nights, burnt circuits, and endless code built this moment. The Solvex reactor wasn't just tech. It was my father's redemption. Dr. Elias Voss, a scientist broken by betrayal. I'd vowed to finish his dream, to prove he was right. I touched the silver pendant around my neck, a tiny circuit etched with his initials. He gave it to me at 13, his eyes bright with hope. Truth hums, Lena, he'd said. Always listen. That hum lived in the reactor now, in its core, in me. Tonight it would echo. Then Victor Tan stepped in, my mentor, my boss. His tailored suit caught the stage lights. He leaned close, breath sharp with coffee. Lena, we're switching, he said. My stomach dropped. My fingers crushed the note cards. Switching, I whispered. He smiled, warm but thin. I'm presenting, he said. You're out. My chest tightened. The pendant burned against my skin. It's my reactor, I said. My voice shook. Every bolt. Every line. Mine. Victor's eyes flicked to the crowd. This isn't about you, he said. Investors want a visionary, not a coder. He straightened his tie. You'll be credited. Quietly. I stood rooted. He smiled. I froze. Then I understood. This wasn't a mistake. It was a theft. Go to the lab, he said. Monitor the feeds. He turned, stepping into the spotlight. Applause swallowed him. My note cards fell. They fluttered like ash. I didn't bend to grab them. The hallway loomed dim and cold. My heels clicked, each step a wound. I reached the elevator. The doors slid shut. My reflection stared back, small and pale. My phone buzzed. A Helios portal alert. Access revoked, Lena Voss. Solvex project reassigned to Victor Tan. My thumb jabbed refresh. My files, designs, logs, my soul gone. Locked out. Erased. I tried again. Nothing. The pendant bit into my palm. The elevator opened. I stumbled into the lobby. Singapore's neon pulsed a distant heartbeat. I gripped the pendant tighter. My father's voice flickered. Truth hums. But the hum was gone. Silenced. Victor hadn't just stolen my stage. He'd stolen my name. And I didn't yet know he was walking a path others had carved through my father's ruin. The hotel room was a void. Darkness clung to the walls. Singapore's neon pulsed outside, sharp and mocking. I slumped against the bed, knees pulled tight. My laptop sat closed, a silent judge. The pendant hung heavy at circuit, cutting my skin. Victor's voice looped in my head. Not a visionary. A coder. Each word was a blade slicing my pride. I'd given Helios my soul. 10 years of midnight debugging. Fingers raw from circuit boards. The Solvex reactor was my heart. Victor had been my compass. He'd leaned over my desk, eyes warm. You're my spark, Lena, he'd said. I'd trusted him. Built his dreams. Now he'd locked me out. My files, my reactor, my name erased. I dragged the laptop close. My hands trembled. I tried the Helios portal again. Access denied. The screen glared. I checked my backup drive. Every schematic, every log gone. Metadata screamed Victor's name, like I'd never existed. My chest heaved. I shoved the laptop away. It thudded on the carpet. I paced, shadows swallowing my steps. The pendant swung heavy with ghosts. My father's face surfaced. Dr. Elias Voss. He'd dreamed of fusion for all, a prototype decades ago. It was hope bottled in steel. But Vortex partners crushed him, stole his work, branded him a fraud. He died hollow, his spirit gone. I was 16. I'd sworn to carry his torch. The Solvex reactor was his redemption. Now Victor had snuffed it out. I stopped gripping the pendant. Its edges bit my palm. A memory clawed free. I was 15 in his lab. He'd warned me about Vortex. They'll twist the tech for profit, he'd said. I'd rolled my eyes. Compromise, Dad, I'd snapped. Make the deal. You'll win later. He'd looked at me, wounded. I'd stormed out. A year later, he was gone. Guilt choked me. I'd pushed him toward the wolves. Now they were back through Victor. My phone buzzed. Amara, my father's lawyer. Lena, call me. It's about Elias. My stomach knotted. I dialed. Her voice was low, urgent. I found his old files, she said. Vortex was Horizon's puppet. They forced him to sign away his ethics code. I sank to the floor. The pendant burned. Ethics code, I whispered. A safeguard, Amara said, to keep his tech from being misused. Horizon made him erase it, or so they thought. My breath caught. The room spun. Horizon, Victor's partner, the ones buying my reactor, they'd destroyed my father. Now they were after me. I saw his face again, his quiet plea. Don't trust them, Lena. I'd failed him then, pushed him to bend. His defeat was my fault. I opened my laptop, searched Vortex partners. Articles flooded the screen. Scientist Elias Voss disgraced. Prototype failure, fraud, lies, a photo loaded. My father's shoulders slumped leaving court. My throat burned. I'd been too young to fight, too stubborn to listen, but not now. I texted Kai, my coder. Dig into Horizon's contract. Look for Vortex ties. Stay quiet. He replied fast. On it. I stared at the pendant. Its circuit caught the neon's glow. My father's initials stared back. He'd fought for truth, lost everything. I'd let him down once. Not again. The city's pulse seeped through the glass. I closed my eyes, reached for the reactor's hum, that steady rhythm, my father's truth. I'd woven it into the Solvex core, a pulse to hold the fusion true. It was my signature, but the lab was sealed. Victor's orders. I couldn't hear it. My phone pinged. Kai. Horizon's contract cites Vortex assets. Dirty money. Call me. I stood heart-pounding. The pendant felt alive, not guilt now. A spark. Victor thought he'd erased me. Horizon thought they'd killed my father's dream. They didn't know he'd left a secret, a code, a hum, and I was ready to listen. The hotel room glowed faintly. My laptop screen cast harsh shadows. I hunched over the keyboard, eyes stinging. The pendant swung its circuit, catching the light. Amara's words burned in my mind. Horizon forced my father to erase his ethics code. Or so they thought. Victor's betrayal was a thread. It led back to them, to Vortex, to my father's ruin. I opened a hidden server. My private vault. My father's voice echoed. Always keep a shadow copy, Lena. I'd stored old Solvex files there. Raw code, test fragments, pieces of my past. I sifted through folders, chaos scribbled algorithms, dead ends. Then I saw it. Evos_root_2009. His initials. My heart skipped. I clicked. Code poured across the screen. Elegant, precise. My father's handiwork. The Solvex reactor's foundation. I'd built on it unaware. A comment line stopped me cold. For Lena. Guard the heart. My throat tightened. I scrolled deeper. A subroutine blinked. Voss_ethics_guardian. His signature. I opened it. The code was a fortress. A moral lock. If the reactor served greed profit over safety, it would shut down. Or self-destruct. A kill switch. But there was more. A hidden branch. Backup_protocol_Elias. My breath caught. A note embedded. Horizon demanded I erase this. I lied. This is the truth. I leaned closer. The screen blurred. I blinked hard. Horizon had coerced him, forced him to sign away the ethics code, to gut his dream for their gain. But he'd outsmarted them, preserved a backup, tucked it in the reactor's roots. A secret only I could find. The system pinged, a warning flashed, ethics protocol active, tamper detection enabled. The pendant burned against my chest. I dove into the code. It was alive. The backup would trigger a test, a moral question. Only the true purpose, humanity's good, would unlock it. Greed would fail. Tampering would be caught. My father had built a judge. I stood pacing. The pendant gleamed. His voice rang. Truth hums. I heard it now. The reactor's pulse. His soul. Mine. Victor wasn't just stealing my work. He was defying my father's last stand. Horizon's deal profit-driven reckless would hit the kill switch. The reactor would die. They'd fall. I messaged Kai. Found a code. My dad's. Ethics lock with a backup. It's a trap for greed. He replied fast. That's huge. Horizon's screwed. Next step, I called Amara. Her voice was steady. Lena, that's his legacy, she said. Horizon thought they'd won. You can prove them wrong. Publicly. I gripped the pendant. Publicly, I asked. Yes, she said. Let the world see his truth. My pulse raced. Expose Victor. Expose Horizon. But Amara warned me. They'll smear you, like they did Elias. They're vicious. I closed my eyes. The reactor's hum surged. I saw my father's face, his quiet defiance. I'd failed him once, pushed him to compromise, watched him break. Not this time. I texted Kai. Prep the lab. Public demo. We're showing the code. I messaged Amara. Set a press event. I'm activating the backup. I stood clipping the pendant tight. Its weight steadied me. Victor thought he'd buried me. Horizon thought they'd erased my father. They didn't know his code was waiting. A hum. A truth. And I was its keeper. The co-working lounge was still. Singapore's sunrise bled pink across the glass. I sat at a desk laptop, open heart pounding. The pendant hung warm, its circuit pressing my skin. My father's Voss_ethics_guardian code glowed on the screen. A backup he'd hidden from Horizon. A truth that could ruin Victor. But my hands froze. The truth had claws, and they were sharp. Amara's voice echoed from last night's call. They'll destroy you, Lena. Her tone was a warning. Horizon smeared your father. They'll do the same to you. I gripped the pendant. His memory surged his slumped frame in that courtroom photo. Vortex Horizon's shadow had called him a liar, a fraud. I'd pushed him to trust them. At 15, I'd said he was too stubborn. Now I saw his eyes. Wounded. I'd failed him then. What if I failed him now? I opened an email draft. Press invitation, Solvex reactor demo. Tomorrow. Helios Lab. The cursor blinked like a challenge. Going public meant unveiling the ethics code. My father's heart. Victor's lies. Horizon's greed. But it meant bearing my name. My past. The spotlight that crushed me days ago. They'd tear into me. Dredge up my guilt. Twist my father's story again. Kai slipped in, eyes sharp under his hoodie. Lab's set, he said. Cameras ready. Teams on board. I nodded, throat dry. You okay with this, he asked. Horizon's already posting. He showed me his phone. A news snippet on ex-Helios Tech unstable insider hints at sabotage. My stomach nodded. The smear was here. I touched the pendant. Its circuit caught the dawn's glow. My father's initials held firm. I paced the room, shrinking. My father's voice whispered, "Build for people, Lena, not power." His ethics code was a vow, a kill switch for greed. If Horizon's deal profit over safety ran, the reactor would lock, or self-destruct. Victor didn't know. He thought he'd stolen it all. But the code knew tampering. It would catch him. My phone buzzed. An anonymous text. "Stop now, Voss. Or your father's shame goes global." My breath hitched. Horizon, or Victor. They were circling. I deleted the text. My fingers shook. I sat staring at the email draft. The cursor mocked me, Amara called. "Lena, you can walk away," she said. "Soothe them quietly. Protect your name." I closed my eyes. The reactor's hum stirred. Low. Steady. True. I saw my father's lab. His late-night sketches. His quiet fight. I'd told him to compromise. Watched him break. His code was his defiance. My chance to make it right. I opened my eyes. "I'm going public," I said. My voice was clear. Amara paused. "Then I'm behind you," she said. "I'll shield you legally." I exhaled, a small smile forming. "Thank you," I said. I typed the invite. Each word was a brick. Witness the Solvex reactor's truth. Built for humanity, not greed. I hit send. The email soared. No retreat now. I texted Kai. Noon demo, full transparency. He replied with a fire emoji. I stood facing the window. The city woke, its pulse rising. I held the pendant. Its edges softened under my touch. My father's hum lived in me. In the reactor. In the code. Victor thought he'd silenced me. Horizon thought they'd erased my father. Tomorrow the system would judge, and I'd let it sing. The Helios lab pulsed with anticipation. Noon sunlight flooded through glass walls. Cameras blinked their red lights like eyes. Reporters, investors, and Horizon execs packed the seats. I stood beside the Solvex reactor. Its silver frame shimmered. The pendant hung against my chest. Its circuit thrummed with my pulse. This was the moment. The truth would sing. I faced the crowd. My voice was clear. "Today you'll see the Solvex reactor's soul," I said. "Not power. Purpose." The reactor's hum filled the air. Low. Steady. My father's heartbeat. I touched the pendant. His initials anchored me. Victor lingered at the back. His suit was sharp, but his smirk twitched. He thought he'd outsmarted me. He was wrong. Kai signaled from the control panel. The demo launched. The reactor's core flared blue. Screens lit up with data, fusion cycles, output curves. The crowd leaned forward awed. I stepped closer. "This is for humanity," I said. "Not profit, not control." Horizon's CEO frowned. Victor's eyes narrowed. The system beeped. A message flashed on the main screen. Ethics Guardian activated. Backup protocol engaged. The room hushed. My father's code, his hidden truth, woke. A warning scrolled. Tamper attempt detected. Override chip found. My heart skipped. Victor stiffened. The crowd stirred. A second message appeared. Authorization required. Answer the core question. Text unfurled. What is this reactor's truth? 3 choices glowed. A fuel corporate wealth. B, secure market dominance. C, serve humanity's future. Murmurs rippled. Victor shoved forward. "This is a stunt," he barked. His voice cracked. I met his gaze. "Then answer it," I said. He sneered, striding to the console. "I'll play your game," he said. He clicked A, fuel corporate wealth. The reactor's hum died. The core dimmed. A red alert blared. Incorrect. Tamper confirmed. Lockdown initiated. The crowd gasped. Victor's face drained. He jabbed B, secure market dominance. The screen flashed red. Incorrect. System sealing. Panels snapped shut. The reactor locked tight. Victor slammed the console. "You sabotaged it," he roared. I stood still. "The system sees you," I said. A new alert flashed. Override chip traced. Unauthorized modification by VTAN. The crowd erupted. Reporters typed furiously. Victor's smirk vanished. He'd planted a chip to bypass the code. Thought he could cheat my father's truth. The Voss_ethics_guardian caught him. His lie was bare. I stepped to the console. The pendant gleamed under the lights. I clicked C, serve humanity's future. The hum surged back. Louder. The core blazed blue. The screen turned green. Authorization confirmed. System restored. Applause thundered. Cameras swarmed. Victor stumbled back. His face was ash. "You rigged it," he stammered. I shook my head. "My father did," I said. "His ethics code guards this reactor. Only truth unlocks it." Horizon's CEO stood jaw tight. "Tan, we're out," he said. He stormed off. His team followed. Victor was alone. Reporters shouted. "Lena, who built this?" I held the pendant. "Elias Voss," I said. "My father. And me." I didn't name Victor. The system had judged him. Kai grinned from the panel. "Logs are live," he whispered. "The world knows." I stepped back. The reactor's hum enveloped me. My father's defiance. My redemption. The pendant felt light. Not a chain. A spark. Victor thought he'd erased us. Horizon thought they'd won. But the code, the truth, spoke louder. And it chose me. The new lab was quiet. Moonlight spilled through high windows. Singapore's skyline glittered a soft hum of life. I stood at a workbench alone. The Solvex reactor pulsed in the corner. Its rhythm was warm like a breath. I held the silver pendant in my palm. Its circuit shimmered my father's initials carved deep. It had carried me through fire. Now it was time to set it free. "My name is Lena Voss, founder of Solvex Energy. The reactor was ours now. Not Victor's, not Horizon's. Ours. Yesterday we signed a new deal. A global alliance, not a corporate giant. Clean energy for millions, not profits. The press called it a revolution. I called it redemption." I walked to the reactor. Its blue glow bathed the room. The hum wrapped me tight. My father's truth. My truth. The demo had shattered everything. The Voss_ethics_guardian, his hidden code, judged. Victor's chip, his desperate cheat, exposed him. His greed failed the moral test. Helios collapsed, stock in ruins. Horizon fled, their lies laid bare. Old Vortex files surfaced online. My father's betrayal finally unmasked. His name shone clear. So did mine. I sat the pendant cool in my hand. Its edges were worn smooth. My father's face flickered. His weary eyes. His stubborn hope. "They took my name, Lena," he'd said. I'd carried his pain, his fight. At 15, I'd pushed him to bend. Told him to trust Vortex. Watched him break. That guilt had chained me. The pendant was my penance. Through Victor's theft. Horizon's threats. But penance can trap you. I thought of the demo, the crowd's roar, Victor's fall. I hadn't screamed, hadn't accused. The system spoke. My father's code. My code. I'd spent a decade chasing his dream, righting my wrong. But I wasn't that girl anymore. I wasn't his echo. I was Lena. I stood heart calm. The reactor's hum swelled. Clear. Alive. I crossed to the workbench. A fresh start. My lab. My future. I set the pendant down. Its circuit caught the reactor's light. I stepped back. My chest lifted. Light. Whole. I don't need to carry you anymore, I said. My voice was soft. To my father. To the pendant. This path is mine. The hum answered. Deep. True. It wasn't just his dream now. It was mine. For people. For hope. For tomorrow. I switched off the lights. The reactor's glow lingered. I walked to the door. Didn't turn back. The pendant stayed. Not abandoned. Honored. My father's initials would always burn bright. But my name was enough. Outside the city pulsed. Stars pierced the sky. I smiled, quiet but real. Victor's ruin was yesterday's news. Tomorrow it'd fade. But our work, my father's mine, would endure. Cities would shine. Air would stay clean. That was my legacy. Not vengeance. Not redemption. Purpose. If you've been erased, don't claw for their light. Build your own. Brighter. Truer. Yours. And let it hum.
2 months later, I stood in a community center classroom. The piano settled against the wall. The Eleanor program had launched its first scholarships awarded to a single mom who'd once dreamed of opera and a teen whose guitar had been sold to pay family debts. I'd found a job teaching music here, my days filled with kids whose laughter reminded me why I'd started teaching. The room smelled of chalk and fresh paint, a blank score waiting for notes. On a crisp March morning, I gathered my students, 10 kids ages 7 to 12, for their first recital. We're playing something special, I said, spreading Eleanor's score on the music stand. A song a friend started and I finished. I sat at the piano, the keys familiar now, there were a map of my own rebuilding. The melody began, Eleanor's delicate phrases blending with my bolder chords, a dialogue across time. The kids joined, some on xylophones, others with tambourines, their small hands weaving joy into the sound. The final note lingered, clear and full, like a breath held and released. The parents clapped, their faces bright. But I looked at the piano, imagining Eleanor's smile. She'd given me more than a trust or a scholarship, she'd given me back my music, my purpose. My neck was bare, the pendant's absence a quiet freedom. I wasn't running from Mark's betrayal or Susan's greed. I was running towards something, a life shaped by my hands, my notes, my choices. As the kids scrambled to pack their instruments, one girl lingered, her fingers tracing the piano's keys. "Can I learn this?" she asked, her eyes wide. I nodded, pulling up a chair. "Let's start now," I said, guiding her hands to the first chord. The room hummed with possibility, and Eleanor's melody played on, not as a memory, but as a beginning.